Welcome to Cephalika tutorial. Now we have started a Bachelor of Education program. In this program, we are discussing about intelligence. In the previous video, we discussed about concept, definition, characteristics and nature of intelligence. In this video, we are going to discuss about Gillfords Theory on Structure of Intellect or SOI model. Now let's start. Professor Gillford and his colleagues at the University of Southern California in the United States conduct a variety of studies on the nature of intelligence. His theory has encouraged more in-depth research on intelligence by shedding light on the complexities of many theories related to intelligence. Gillford has discovered 40 elements of intelligence through many experiments. While there are considerable differences between these elements, although there are also some similarities. Based on these similarities, he divided the elements into three classes. He says the human mind is arranged in three dimensions. The element of the intellect divided into three classes are what he calls the three levels of the intellect. These are 1. Operational dimension, number 2. Concrete dimension and number 3. Product dimensions. According to Gillford, each dimension is different from the other. The difference can be explained by the method of material analysis. The intellectual components of each dimension are as follows. So start with operational dimension. The operational dimension describes what the brain does with. The element related to the initial mental process are called the operational element of the intellect on an operational level. Gillford speaks of 5 mental processes. Intellectual work is done by this mental process. These mental processes are cognition, memory, convergent thinking, divergent thinking, and evaluation. Now we discuss this in elaborate. Cognition. This is a primary mental process that is extremely important in learning. Cognition has to do with the ability to perceive the various items. It is characterized by awareness, data collection, and perception. Second is memory. It is a mental ability to store and retrieve various kinds of information. People differ in their abilities to remember not only from other people but also among various kinds of information. It is characterized by a recollection of past experiences. Next is convergent thinking. By convergent thinking, a single solution to a problem is found. It is characterized by the search for fancy solution, that is, searching new solution based on information. Next is divergent thinking. This process is associated with creative work. This process of thinking gives rise to innovation. It is characterized by the search of specific solution or make single decision based on the various information provided. It also refers to the ability to find large number of thinking which fit certain simple criteria. And lastly, evaluation. The usefulness of the content is assessed by evaluation. This leads to a conclusion. Its feature is to compare. It is the ability to make judgments about the various kinds of information. Judgment such as which item are identical in some way, which item are better, and what qualities are shared by various items. The usefulness of the content is assessed by evaluation. This leads to a conclusion. Its feature is to compare. So this is all about operational dimension. Now we go through content dimension. By content, he means that different people seem to pay more attention to and think more effectively about different kinds of information, such as auditory content, symbolic content, semantic content, behavioral content, and visual content. Start with visual content. Visual information directly from the sense or from imaging. Example is what? Determine the shape, color, etc. Next is auditory content. Auditory information directly from the sense or from images. What are the examples? To distinguish between different tones and sound, etc. Next is symbolic content. Items such as words and symbols which generally convey some meaning. What are the examples in this case? That is the use of letters, numbers, and symbols. Next is semantic content. This is the ability to understand language related content. No precedent is required for this. It is characterized by meaningful linguistic information. What is the example? Maintain mutual connections. Next is behavioral content. This ability helps to master social behaviors. It is characterized by languageless information used in interactions. What are the example here? Realizing emotional features, feelings, etc. So these are the content dimension. Now we see about product dimension. According to Gillfords, 6 types of productive or consequential intelligence are effective when a process is applied to a subject. These are number 1 unit, number 2 class, number 3 relation, number 4 system, number 5 transformation, and number 6 implications. We discuss this one by one. Unit. Unit refers to the ability to perceive units in a content area. This might be symbolic units such as words, visual units such as shapes, or behavioral units such as facial expressions. Now what is the example? Filling the blanks, selecting individual characteristics of human beings, etc. Next is class. Classes refers to the ability to organize units into meaningful groups and to sort units into the right groups. It is characterized by the classification of different subject matters. Example like a diagnosis of general features. What is relation? Next topic is relation. Relations pertains to the ability to sense the relationship between pairs of units. This feature is to establish a relationship between two subjects. What is example? The diagnosis of similarities, dissimilarities, etc. Next is system. This part includes the ability to organize material objects in space, to organize symbolic issues, and to solve problems. It is characterized by the establishment and arrangement of relationship between different parts. Next is transformation. This part includes the ability to predict what happens when an object is transformed and what happens when something changes in information. Example, you can say form a statement in a new way by changing the information. And lastly is implication. This part includes the ability to predict future outcomes in the present context and also the ability to think about the scope of any expectations. Its feature is to make predictive decisions from the given information. Like mention the probability. This is the example. So these are the three dimensions of Gillfords SOI model. Now we see the geometric interpretation of Gillfords theory. Here we see a picture. Now the three levels of intelligence are shown on the three surfaces of the cube. 5 features have been established at the operational dimension, 5 at content dimension and 6 at product dimension. That is, there are a total of 5 cos 5 cross 6, 150 elements of intelligence. According to the picture, a small house is considered by Gillford as an element of intelligence. With the help of factor analysis method, Gillford has determined the interrelationship between the elements of intelligence. According to Gillford's report published in 1979, 100 elements have been so far found. Gillford hopes that the remaining 50 elements will also be discovered. Now, we discuss about educational significance of SOI model. This model helps in formulating new intelligence tests, as intellectual abilities are characterized by operational, content and product dimension. These tests are used to measure the intelligence of students of different ages. Number 2. The SOI model can be used to measure the component of intelligence, which cannot be possible with the conventional intelligence testing. Number 3. Gillford's idea is applied to curriculum design for students of different ages. Number 4. This model is used to assess the behavior of different classes of individuals in society. Number 5. This model is especially helpful in understanding content through verbal concept and learning by using letters, numbers and other symbols. Number 6. This model identifies the student's creative ability and ability to recall. And lastly, number 7. From this information, new ideas of learning are found. According to this theory, learning is not just about connecting stimulus with responses. Learning is about discovering information, that is, changing a piece of information to form a new statement. So this is all about Gillford SOI model. If you like this video, then please like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.